Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Dr. Angel Storm. We're doing Purpose February this month. We are only today and tomorrow are left, so we're almost at the end. If you haven't followed along for this series, please go back and start at the beginning. These steps that I give you each day will help you walk into your purpose or help you grow it, expand it if you're already there. So today we are taking all of the things that we have already done. So every exercise that we've done each day, the accumulation of the stuff along the way, and we are kind of turning them all um, into a doable and measurable plan. So if we have all of the data, we've made changes, we've made adjustments in our schedule, we've seen where there could be some waste of our resources, whether that's our energy or our time or whatever it is. We've made adjustments along the way, but what are we going to do with all of this? And today we are talking about that. So one of the things that I encourage you to do before we take a look at everything else is I encourage you to do this exercise that I'm going to tell you how to do right now. Take a piece of paper and divide it into 4 sections. So make a line going down the top and a line going down the middle, and now label each of the quadrants. What makes me sad? What makes me cry? What makes me mad? What makes me angry? What makes me happy? And then what makes me frustrated? And really fill in those blanks. Take time to put your answers into each of those quadrants. This is going to help you channel all of the other things that you've done this month. So, for example, if I know that something makes me super frustrated, and for me, when I did this exercise, for me, the biggest thing was like paperwork, admin type stuff. I hate doing it. I really like what it was actually part of the reason why I got out of the Army. There was just too much paperwork involved, and it was constantly like the same stuff over and over. So it bothered me enough to make a big decision in my life, right? So when I know that something is very frustrating to me, that's an obvious signpost in my life saying, you don't have grace for that, right? You aren't graced to do that, and that's okay. So stop trying to make yourself do that. You know, in one of these videos, we talked about how to honor yourself and how to honor the way that you were created. And one of the things is to stop trying to make yourself do things that you're not graced for, and having that thing be like the cornerstone or a very large component of whatever it is that you're doing. The things that you, yes, there will be development. Yes, you will have to learn things. Yes, you will have to do stuff that you don't like. So you'll either begin to like the thing that you weren't crazy about doing. Maybe it was because you were intimidated by it, or you didn't feel confident in your skill set, or whatever it is, but it won't constantly frustrate you. This should be something, so again, this should be something that's, yes, now and in the moment, but also something that you felt for many years. You felt it for a long time, like that thing I don't want to do. Now, the other 3 components of this exercise will actually show you what you are to do. Your purpose will be a combination of what makes you happy, what makes you angry, and what makes you sad. The things that make you sad and the things that make you angry are obviously the places that you are called to change, that you are called to make a difference, do it in a better way. And likely, when you're able to do that, you'll see that the things that you are able to do line up with what makes you happy. In other words, the things that made you sad and mad, if you were able to change them, it would equal or have the same result as what makes you happy. So I want you to think about this in terms of what that means for you to be doing. And in one of the other videos, I talked about how you need to know the season of life that you're in, because your purpose will line up with your season. You won't be in a competing mode. So in other words, if I'm supposed to be resting in every area of my life, I'm also resting when it comes to my purpose, right? Even if that means I own a business, even if that means that I have a 9-to-5 job, there's going to be a way for me to tap into rest, even in that environment. So keep that in mind as well. Now, when you go over the quadrant exercise that I just gave you, you know the season of life that you're in and what you're supposed to be doing. I want you to go through and look at all of the ways that you can start using these resources. We talked yesterday about your influence. We talked other days about how your time is used. All of these things are your resources. Even if you don't have the ability right now to be putting your money towards something else, although I think that you should get a plan to start doing that. You definitely should start investing in your time and in your influence and in your skill set and things like that. So I want you to take a look and find out how you can start developing those areas and make a plan that is sustainable. So in other words, it's a plan for what that means for me each day or each week, depending on how you're going to do it, right? Like I said, everybody has seasons in life. And so if you're single without children, um, your your time is going to be spent different than somebody who is married and has kids, especially if they're little ones, right? So think about the season that you're in and realistically how much time each day or each week, however you have to divide it, would be useful for you investing in each of those areas. From there, the plan needs to include the plan when I feel like I want to quit. How long am I sticking to this plan? What am I going to do if I feel like I want to quit? Who's my accountability partner? You need to put all of the things that we've done over the past 28 days into a measurable, workable plan that would work for you. This is why it's so individual, because if you are in a different season than somebody else, a plan for them isn't going to work for you. But I do want you to honestly be taking advantage. Recognize the spaces where there may be blank in your day, right? Maybe instead of a 30-minute TV show, you do 30 minutes of research. Maybe instead of watching whatever you would normally do, you watch a YouTube video on something that you are interested in, to start growing and developing your understanding of it, and also seeing a different way to do the things. I teach a business mentorship class, like I think I've mentioned a few times before, and in there you have to do market research. And so maybe 1 month you do market research, meaning you see what other people in that same field or that same area, how they're doing things. It doesn't mean that you have to do things that they're doing. It just means you know what else is out there. You want to be knowledgeable in whatever field you are called to. So today's exercise is kind of twofold. Number one, do the quadrant exercise that I just explained to you. And number two, um, get yourself together a plan that is small to big. In other words, here's what I'm doing on a daily basis or a weekly basis. Here's what I'm doing on a monthly basis. Here's what I'm going to do a 3-month checkup on myself. Here's my accountability partner. Here's what I'm going to do when I feel like I want to quit, and I commit to doing this plan to myself, for myself, for a year, for 2 years, whatever it is. And have plans in place for when you feel like you want to break that commitment, so that you see it through. This year can be different than any of the other years you've ever had in your life, but that's up to you. And making changes and sticking with those changes is really the difference between the other years that you've had and this year. So you guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. We have one more video left that will be done tomorrow morning, where we will be talking about implementing the plan. So I will see you guys then. Have a good Sunday.